Welcome back to Lulu University. You published the book. What do you do next? You have an awesome book launch, and I'll show you how. The book launch. Quintessential to any career as an author. So, I've said this a million times, I will continue to say it, but the book launch is part of the marketing plan. So this is something that you should have already been thinking about prior to publishing, but if you didn't, then we'll be happy to share some tips and tricks on how to have a really successful book launch. One good place to start is with your audience. So, we've done videos on reader personas and finding your audience, so you should at this point know who your ideal reader is. And even, I'll take it a step further, you should know kind of where they hang out, what they like, what they're into, and that can really help you dictate where to host your book launch. So some of the typical suspects are libraries, bookstores, places like that. But I would encourage you to think outside the box and think about your book specifically and your audience specifically. Maybe your book has a lot of recipes in it, or maybe you talk about cooking, and maybe there's a restaurant that has to do with some of the themes that you deal with. That would be a great place to have one. Maybe the characters in your book have a dog, or maybe the dog is the main character of your book, or maybe there are just some themes that deal with animals, throughout the book that you're writing. So one thing you could do is team up with a local adoption agency or go to a local adoption event where they're, adopting these shelter pets, and you can have your signing right there, your book launch there. Or maybe your book is about a brewery manual or brewing instructions or a brewing guide. So if it kind of falls into that category, then go check out local breweries in your area or local bars, or see if there are any events coming up that fit in with your themes. And I'm sure they'd be happy to have you because people who drink beer are friendly. You know where your readers are. You know where your book launch needs to be. So what do you need to bring to a book launch? And what do you bring, or what can you bring that may entice people to come to it? So some things that we always suggest here are definitely you're going to want to have your book. That's number one. I feel like I shouldn't need to say that, but we'll start there. Bring your book to your book launch. Another great thing to do is at your book launch, sign the copies. And you don't have to sign all of them, but just signing a few of them sort of creates this air of exclusivity and kind of makes it a more special event and a more special take home for the readers. Another great thing to have on hand at a book launch are business cards or a bookmark that is your business card. Anything that you can hand out there that gives more information about you and tells your readers where to find you after the event. So that can be really helpful. And last but not least, one great thing to have at a launch party, if you can do it, is food and drink. Everybody likes to be wined and dined, and you can get people in the door just for their free food. So they may come to eat, but stay to read. So that's a great way to get more people in the door and get more readers. Got a pro tip for you. When you are setting up for your book launch and you're having it, bring someone along to take some photos of you, because this content can be great for you to use on social media to let your readers and fans and followers know where you are and what you're doing. Now we've got a plan, so let's drum up some interest. What you want to do is go to your community. So you've been building this audience, you've been finding your ideal readers and figuring out where they are and where they hang out, so go find them. So social media is obviously a great way to do this. And your email list is another really good way to get the word out about your book launch. I would recommend sending out information about your book launch even up to a month in advance. And then just be teasing and reminding people about it and, as the event gets closer. Another great way is, as we mentioned earlier, kind of coincide with other events or reach out to organizations that will find your content relevant and engaging. So we'll go back to the adoption example. If you have a book that you think would really resonate with animal lovers, then reach out to those groups on Facebook, or just do a Google search for communities in your area that are, pet-centric or love pets. Even going to pet supply stores and leaving flyers or information about your book launch can be a really great grassroots way to get more people in the door. If you have a book launch or author event coming up, then let us know. Share it with us on Facebook, or you can email us at authorevents@lulu.com. We would love to hear about it. So be sure to hit subscribe, and we'll see you next week.